I see. That's why.
Number 7. Virtue's Last Reward for the 3DS and the Vita was a very fun game, surprisingly. You spent very little time playing and more time enveloped in the storyline and choosing which path. The concept of the game was that there were 24 possible endings, that you had to find them all by choosing different things each time. The key part about this was that every time you completed the game, you didn't have to go back and start from the beginning. If you pressed a little button, it would take you to a flowchart of all the memories that you'd unlocked so far. So all you would have to do is tap where you wanted to go to, and it would allow you to make that decision again, choosing a different one every time. That was the story part of it anyway. The other part of the game was Escape, which was essentially an Escape the Room style. Yeah, it was Escape the Room. You would tap where you wanted to go and explore, and you would go and explore there. You would break puzzles and find keys to escape the room that you were in. If you wanted to unlock the very last ending, the secret ending, so to speak, you would have to find the gold file in every room, which meant cracking the safe in a different way to the way that would normally get you out of the room. Which usually meant an entire different puzzle or an entire different section of the room was needed. Sometimes they were really hard and very frustrating, but overall they were enjoyable, and when you eventually did clear the room, you felt a great feeling of success, like you've really outdone yourself, and you were really proud that you'd done it. Which sounds a little sad, I know, but that's just how you felt. And then there was the game's story. Wow. It was complicated, definitely, but once you understood it, and if you did understand it, very rewarding. Unless you did the stories and the paths in the right order, however, you couldn't just say go straight onto the actual end, the final end, so to speak. You need to get unlocks. So, for example, at the end of Quark's ending, Quark is infected with a virus. Spoiler alert. And to get the serum for him, you had to go through one of these rooms, and in the end of the safe was a serum. One of the bad guys, who I'm not going to name, took the serum and said that unless you, well, alright, perhaps now would be the best time to explain the Nonary game, Ambidex Edition. I should have started with this. The Nonary game was, you captured 9 people, 9 doors, and they had 9 hours in which to do this, working with the bracelet and the BP bracelet points. It's worth mentioning now that Virtue's Last Reward was actually a sequel to 999 for the DS, 9 hours, 9 doors, 9 persons. Bracelet points which would allow you to escape. You needed 9, actually, to get out of the big number 9 door to escape. So to get these points, you had to go into a booth and scan the card that you would find in the room when you were doing the escape the room part, and then click ally or betray. So the partner that you were with, you would either ally them or betray them. So for example, and now I'm going to explain this, which is again complicated. Say you had Sigma, who's your main character in one room, and Luna, who is another character, in another. If they both choose ally, they will get 2 bracelet points. If one chooses ally and the other chooses betray, the person who betrayed gets 3 bracelet points, and the person who allied loses 2. If they both betray, then nothing happens. There was a small penalty for if you ran out of bracelet points, because you started with 3, and if you ran out, there was a small penalty which caused death. A muscle relaxant would be injected, and it would cause your respiratory system to fail, which was a very gruesome way to go. Although not very painful if you're going to listen to what the evil rabbit says. Play it if you want to find out what that means. But anyway, Dio, oh shit, the guy with the serum, he said that unless you allied him in the next game, he would destroy the serum and meant that Quark would die. You didn't want this, obviously, so you did ally him. And if you allied him, you got the serum back, but then you would pull yourself towards the door and realise that you had a bionic arm. This would then lead on to another story in which you say that you can cut your arm off because it is bionic. Which, yeah, that was a complicated explanation, I know, but that's basically how it works. you jump between timelines with the unlocks that with the information that you've already discovered, so that you can go further ahead with the story. Which would have been an easier way to explain it from the start, but whatever. Anyway, there's not a lot of things that people don't like about this game as well. One of the things that I have found is that a lot of people complain that it's more story and talking and less escaping and playing, which is a fair statement, because it is, but I personally liked the story, and I used it. The whole point is escaping so that you can continue with the story, as the story is, in fact, the main part of the game here. Sorry about that. Anyway, I did love this game. I had it for the Vita, although I never played it for the 3DS, although I got a 3DS just recently, so I might have to do that. I'd love to do a Let's Play on it sometime if I can get some sort of recording device for the Vita. But anyway, that's all I can say about that game.
I see. That's why.
Number 6. Sonic Adventure 2 Last Generation. Weird as level, which was the main part of the game, the thing that killed you as fast as you could. You would sprint, ride, it was actually even the helicopter down a hill. However, one of the things that most people said was wrong with the game is that you spent less than 40% of the game controlling a huge monster. That was a shame, because I did like I have one brother, so he played We used to sit there and play for hours. We could literally sit there and then get nil. Well, we could play 100 games easy in a couple of days. It was something that we always used and we always played, so that is why Sonic Adventure 2 is up there. Now on to Sonic Generations. Sonic Generations is a game that came out just recently, and a game that I've only played just recently. I've not even completed the game yet, but I love it. I think that the entire concept of it is lazy. All you've done is basically copied and pasted missions from earlier Sonic games into one. The storyline isn't good, but let's be fair, nobody plays a Sonic game for the storyline. And the speed levels are, yeah, copied and pasted. They're just the same sort of style as previous Sonic games, and yet for some reason it works. It's just, I can't even explain why it does. It just works its magic. You can unlock previous music from different games and have that play while you play the new levels. But to be fair, the remixes of the old games that are in the new game, that they're pretty good as well. I like to listen to them, especially the City Escape remix for the classic version. That's quite good. The game would have you play Act 1 as classic Sonic, as the 2D side scrolling with only the jump and spin dash option, whereas the Act 2 would have you playing as 3D Sonic, blasting your way through 3D landscapes and jumping and homing, and you've got your spin dash, your boot. Well, you don't have your spin dash. Sorry, that was my bad. You've got your boost bar and you've got your homing attack. Both of those were just as well. And then you had after each level you'd unlock a new character who would stand there and give you pointless advice, which was extremely pointless. Anyway, I loved Sonic Generations and Sonic Adventure 2. I've never been really keen on any of the others apart from the originals for the Mega Drive. Not Mega Drive. Yeah, Mega Drive. So that's why I put Sonic here, because, again, childhood memories, nostalgia, things like that.